All right, everybody, welcome aboard. My name is Doobyis. This is called Fly in Formation. This is a spin off series where I interview artists whose music I've come across while I've been making my mix show after the smoke is clear. You can find everything I do over at Doobyis.com. This is episode 125, so if you don't know by now, you probably should. But yeah, feel free to tap in, say, hey, what's up? These interviews happen live over on Twitch. And anybody who wants to, chime in, add some energy, ask a question, any of that is always welcome. Come through on Tuesday nights. That's usually when these interviews happen. Tonight, though, my guest is someone who's, been low profile and a little bit elusive from the limelight, I feel like, but everybody knows the name Starkore. Welcome aboard, man. Good to have you.
Awesome, man. It's great to be here and finally show my face. It's been 15 years, man. So here we go.
Right? So is this like, do you really have no photos online? I had no
I,
idea of
I,
what
I
you
have
look like.
no photos online. I've been to a few fortune shows where Junk and Hungry performed, met them. I've gone to snack shows, evil shows. I was interviewed on the Grind with Valentine
Okay.
probably about 12 years ago. And then ever since, it's like I tell the guys, it's Rap Game Oz. I'm kind of just in the back burner, just making the heat for the guys. So that's about it.
Man behind the curtain, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that, man. Actually, in the Twitch intro, you got to say like something for a go live notification, and I said we're pulling the curtain back. So that's
There
really
we go.
perfect that you made that analogy. Dude, I think a lot of people don't really chase the music dream if they're not kind of in pursuit of some level of fame. What is it that kind of pulled you towards production and I guess staying kind of more to the shadows?
So I had my daughter, and when I had my daughter, my goal was to kind of stop going out, kind of turn into a homebody. So I over the years, I created a home music studio for myself to lock in, to be at home with my wife, be at home with my kids, not having to travel, etc. And it just built up over years, and it's my comfort zone. And I don't need to go to studios. I have basically everything at my fingertips in my own home.
Yeah.
But yeah, just lock down and just be a homebody. So
So right from the start of kind of your musical journey, was it focused on hip hop production your entire life of music or
no, the dreams and aspirations. I was a huge writer when I was a kid, so poetry, lyrics, things like that. I tried the artist thing a bit, made a bunch of songs. I probably got 60 to 100 songs from the past 20 years. Uh, Boatloads of scribbled raps on pieces of paper. Still, I hold those, but got invited to a couple shows to open. Looked at the stage, and it just wasn't for me, man.
yeah.
I'm the behind the curtain guy, so.
Hey, fair enough, man. uh I think, you're the third producer in a row I've talked to. I talked to Shiloh 2 weeks ago and Fresh Kills last week. And, I think it's a various, like there's a various amount of how much producers want to be seen and get on stage. Guys like Fresh Kills will get out there and do shows on their own where they're just up there with a sampler. And then, there's a lot of producers who also do the like double time thing, like you said, writing lyrics as well, but then kind of decide to just fall back to producing for some elements too. Um, is it that you grew up around a bunch of really dope MCs? Like, I know some of the A list you've worked with. Did you kind of come up with those guys and it just fell into
Uh,
place that they were the MC and you were the D or well the producer?
Not really. It basically was for me. It was from the ground up. I've been obsessed with music my entire life, and from spinning grandma's records to scratching grandma's records by accident to making mixtapes to finding artists and selling mixtapes in high school of guys that nobody knew. I was kind of like A&Ring in the background. Hey man, check this guy out. So always obsessed with music. And then as the lyrics came and starting to like record myself, I just started dabbling with certain programs and sort of teaching myself. And I'm an 80s baby, so it was the old school hip hop. It was obsessed with Bone Thugs and Harmony, obsessed with the West Coast stuff coming up, the Tupacs, all that stuff. So all of that initially is just basically a giant inspiration for me. and I just went forward with it. So
How is it that you kind of ended up working with, like, all the biggest names in Vancouver? Like, we're talking about like kind of Junk and Snack the Ripper and Mercules and, like you said, Evil Ebenezer. Like a lot of these guys, have worked with you a lot in the past, and I feel like there's probably a lot of producers out there who wish that they could kind of have access to a stable of that much talent and like a roster with that much talent that wants to work with them. Um,
for sure, for
how'd
sure.
you make that happen, man?
I mean, it's just dedication and grind, and then it's networking and trying to get your name out there. Basically, I always tell the rookie guys and the guys that come to me for advice, the young ones, and I always say you got to develop relationships with these guys, even if it's giving them basic criticism or feedback on a new song or anything. Just get the ins, and these guys are solid human beings. Like Junk, met him a few times, and even Snack and Merc and all these guys, they're behind the music, they're humans and they're solid dudes. So developing that relationship with them over the past, I don't know, man, it's been a long time. Um, but yeah, it just comes down to basic human interaction.
Yeah.
And then again, sending and sending and sending until something hits, right?
Oh,
That's
oh,
every
sure,
beat is a lottery ticket the way that I look at it. So
sure. So there's been a lot of sending out beat packs to potential artists you want to work with,
a
and
hundred
like you said,
percent. I
okay,
think evil Ebenezer, especially, I think I've been sending him beats for 12 years.
damn,
So that's pretty crazy. I mean, I think I got like 7 or 8 songs with him over those 12 years, but still it's consistency, right? So
yeah, for sure, man. So it's not necessarily that they came knocking your door, but they found your beats in an inbox someplace or whatever at some point.
that's
So
how it gets started. So
yeah, yeah, fair enough, man. Have you noticed an uptick in people who are now knocking on the door? Because looking at the list of credits that you sent over, like you got a long, long list of credits there, a couple hundred songs, and a lot of them are with that kind of circle of A-listers that we were talking about. But then there's a lot of them who look like names that I've seen once or twice pop up here and there, but it's maybe, I don't know, guys who were inspired by some of those A-listers, I feel like reaching out to you saying like, "Hey, I wanna do this too." Do you get
for
that feel?
sure.
Yeah.
100%. So even like when the locals they drop songs and they find out who produced the beat, I have guys in my DMs like, "Oh, I really want a beat like this," or "I was really inspired by that song." So it's a trickle down effect.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's just how it happens, and it happens a lot. It's crazy because a lot of the newer generation, I guess you could say, because the Snacks, the Junks, we're all like we're a bit older. We're late 30s, early 40s types guys. But we got the younger generation coming up now and looking up to those guys, and they want a similar sound.
Yeah.
So
Um, is there a certain bar to get over? Like, do you ever, do you check somebody's, catalog before you're gonna sell them a beat, or will you just kinda sell a beat to anybody with the cash? I know there's different schools of thought from the producers I've talked to. Some will work with anybody with money, and, don't feel like it reflects on them artistically really, whatever that rapper
I
does.
think there's a balance to it for sure.
Yeah,
Um, for me it's Canadians, right? Like my credit list is filled with Canadians,
yeah,
huge on the Western Canada. I swear at one point I produced for everybody on the West Coast. It was crazy. So just moving my way across Canada basically, and you know what I mean? I'm good with the upcomers. I'm good catering to a sound that they need or giving them a bit of a bump, you know what I mean?
sure.
So
Yeah,
I'm honestly down to cook up and create for anybody at this point in my career. So
nice, man, yeah. Do you do, like, beat leases? Like, is there a Starkore, what's that page? BeatStars or whatever?
so what I did is I put 900 throwaway beats from the past 10 years on there and just use it as a bit of an online vault for some of the American guys. The American guys don't really know me. I'm kind of an unknown. So if they stumble upon it, then it just trickles down to my Instagram and hey,
Sure.
what's up? Saw this, that. But as far as leasing goes, I do not push that ever anymore. I had I think it was a conversation with Snack like 4 or 5 years ago, and he's like, man, he's like, He's like, go exclusive only. He's like, don't mess with leases. Like these artists out here, the ones that like respect their craft, respect the art, they only want one artist on the beat. They don't want a guy, six different artists on that same beat. So since that conversation, it's just been straight exclusive,
Yeah,
straight across the board.
that makes sense, man. Do you find like, is it tough navigating legalities like that with a lot of different MCs as far as splits and all this stuff goes? I know different producers, some will just do X amount of dollars for an exclusive and then it's kind of out of their hands. And then there's producers who kind of will work out like the split and whatever on it. How into the legalese of it all have you gotten?
So it varies on the artist. So I have different agreements with all my go-to artists. Basically, we all have different business senses on how this should go. But most of the time, I'm just beat buyout. Come to me, buy it. You deal with it. You do whatever you need. If there was a chance that I got some major placement in the states with a future one of these big A-list artists in the states,
Yeah,
it would be entertainment lawyer. It would be go for as much as you can
for sure.
type situation, right? Set myself up. But for basic everyday stuff, no man, just come to me, buy it outright. I don't want to hear about it again.
Yeah, for the
So
500 plays on Spotify that most of
yeah,
the songs are gonna
exactly.
get anyways, yeah,
No, exactly.
that makes sense. Is there a concerted effort to push more into America right now, and work with more American artists? Like, are you sending beat tapes out to Americans at this point?
So I heavily focused on that about 3 or 4 years ago, and I actually got super burnt out from it. So chasing management, chasing A&Rs, chasing engineers, I just got so burnt. Emails, I would put mail track on my email to see if they open the email. It just became too obsessive.
Okay,
And then what it did is it killed my creative process. So for right now, if they stumble upon me, that's cool. But I'm just keeping it super simple. Keep my creative thoughts, and it's way easier for me at this point.
nice, man. So, like, you sent over, a beat tape, beat pack to me earlier today. I was looking through it and, like, you got a lot of beats in there. You said that was from 2025, so, like, I wanted to ask, like, how many beats are you making a day? How many beats do you crank out in a week? Like, what's
So
the schedule like, man?
So for 25 and 26, I had a goal of 10 a week.
Dang.
That was my thing.
Okay.
So 10 solids a week, I'll bounce, mixed, mastered everything, dumped into that vault that I showed you.
Yeah.
Um, Previously, I was at the point where when I was running YouTube channels and things like that, and I was into YouTube shorts and Instagram reels, I had three different YouTube channels and I was making 28 beats a week
Ooh,
and making videos for every single beat. Again, learning from that, that's another learning lessons for rookies. You're just going to burn out
sure.
and your creative energy is just going to be gone. The focus is going to be gone. So I definitely don't recommend going that hard. So
When you say making videos, are you talking, like, just a visual to go with it or, like, a video of you making the beats or, like, what type of videos are you
just
putting with it?
strictly just still frame images, just so you can upload it to YouTube, or I
Okay,
can cut it into reels, I can cut it into shorts.
sure.
It just was insanity, and I would definitely never do that again.
Yeah, I think that's something that every artist struggles with. There's a fine line between kind of producing too much and falling back too much, you know? You gotta stay
100%.
busy and active with the artistry to keep the sword sharp and all that. Um,
100%.
yeah, right, but I hear you, though. If you make it into a everyday thing and it becomes regimented, it can be good for discipline, but, yeah, after a while, that can start to feel like it's work rather than something you
Exactly.
enjoy doing.
It'll feel like work, and that's where you lose the creativity, and then it just, I don't know, it just, like I said, it just burns you out.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Um, so did you take a step back to avoid that burnout, like, for an extended break away from music, or, do you ever actually step back for like a month at a time and not make anything?
It's funny because I was thinking about that prior to the interview, and I'm like, how long have I actually stepped away from music over the past 15 years? And there's been spurts of a single month in the past 15 years. I'm that annoying guy on your feed that just doesn't stop dropping something.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know. It's tough for me.
I
I
mean,
I just I can't get away from it. It's an addiction, man. I don't know what to say.
that's why you've got a recognizable name and people have never seen your face before though, because
Yeah,
of that consistency, right? It
yeah,
takes a work
for
ethic
sure.
to develop that for sure. Um, so I guess let's talk about the actual process of making beats. I've dabbled a little bit, a few hours here and there over my life into learning how to use an MPC 1000, and I very quickly thought to myself like, nope, there are too many guys out there who I've seen who are already masters of this. I don't need to fuck around and put in 10,000 hours to get good. I'm gonna put this back on the shelf and pick this microphone over here back up and keep emceeing rather than trying to make beats. But what type of process goes into making your average beat? Like, are you using outboard gear or is it kind of all in the box at this point?
It's all in the box at this point. I just got my MIDI keyboard and just my PC and my speakers. I'm pretty simple. But for me, it's sampling old records, or it's cooking up from scratch, or it's random guitar loops that some English guitar player who found me is sending me, and
Nice.
things like that. So people are plugging away inspiration to me, and I'm cooking up stuff from scratch at the same time. So it's a good balance.
What do you feel like the future of sampling in hip hop is? This is something I've talked to a few different guests with, and I almost personally feel like it's going to have to kind of go back to like selling tapes out of the trunk if people want to sell sampled hip hop, because these fucking algorithms and the AI sweeps are getting better and better at picking that shit up and striking it off of, streaming services or online in general kind of.
Well, that's why I was hesitant about Together's in Pieces 4 with Junk there, is
Yeah.
because, man, I went crazy with the samples. And I mean, right now, whenever I touch samples, I'm really trying to tweak them and I'm really trying to adjust them so it doesn't pick it up.
Yeah.
But then you got stuff like Suno, and I've already publicly spoke out about Suno, um, just based on the fact that it's just, I don't know. It's a demon tool for producers, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as sampling goes, like I got a stack of vinyls here, and it's just like you can't let that go. I hate the algorithms. I hate that we're going this way, but turning classics into new modern classics is
Yeah.
just part of hip hop, and
That's the
it's
roots of it,
tough.
right? That
A
that
hundred percent.
yeah, that recycling and reformatting older sounds into newer sounds. I agree completely. That's what hip hop was built on. So it's a shame to see these algorithms kind of potentially trying to put an end to it.
This
Or
could be greed too, right? The people, the originals or the original with the master, they just want to get paid.
yeah,
And it just becomes a sick game, to be honest. Like,
for real.
it's crazy.
Um, you mentioned Suno. I've messed around with Suno a little bit. It is disgusting. I will agree with you. It is nasty. And it scares me how good some of the stuff it cranks out sounds, frankly, because people who don't know the process to making that sound in the first place just don't have as much knowledge to go off of, so they think like, okay, this is just what making a beat is now. And they're like loading elements into Suno and telling it what to do with it. And uh I think it takes a lot less talent than making it the other way, and I think it's probably also a lot less genuinely creative because the machine is doing a lot of the creative
A
deciding
hundred percent.
on that side. But I have had thoughts about like, okay, but maybe there are ways to use it that producers could still get away with. Like, what about if you had it make soul songs and then sampled chunks of those or things like that, Like, do
A
you
hundred
feel like
percent.
there's any place where AI is gonna fall into the future of hip hop production?
I think right now there's a lot of producers using Suno to create soul sample packs. And what they're doing is they're prompting it it's spitting out what they want, they repackage it and they sell it. So
Okay.
they're using it as a hustle to
Yeah.
sell it to people so those people can chop it up and then they can use it, but they're still making money off of it. So
Right.
I could literally just enter like 60 sold sample with trumpet and it'll spit me something out.
Yeah.
I could repackage the same 25 prompts and sell it. And I just think it's greasy. And
I
like
hadn't
my
even thought
posts,
about
man, like,
the sample, like, pack element of that. That's nuts
yeah,
that people
it
are doing that and then
a
selling the
hundred
sample
percent.
packs.
But yeah, the post that I put out was basically to all the veteran producers, all the guys that learn VSTs, MPCs,
Yeah,
even their DAW, learning it back and front, all the shortcuts. That's like more than 10,000 hours.
for real.
So you're basically throwing out everything that you've mastered and learned to create things from the ground up just to use a prompt. And I get it, the new generation of kids coming up, ease of access is everything. Short attention spans. It all makes sense, and that's how the cookie crumbles. But I just really hope the veterans in the game don't go to that as their primary. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just keep doing you, and maybe use that as a tool, maybe a minor tool. But that's as far as you want to take it because you're just gonna kill your creativity. So
Right. Yeah. Well, and, yeah. I mean, it's disgusting watching, guys who were legends in the game, Timbaland out here
Timbaland, man, it's
promoting soon.
crazy.
I'll just say his
Oh,
name out loud. Everybody knows who the
yeah,
fuck he is. But yeah, like watching what he's done now promoting that stuff, it just feels so greasy.
yeah.
And like I hope the
It's like a
paycheck is
stab
big
in the
enough.
back to music, man. Like he was one of my favorite producers, to be honest with you, just because he was creative. He was a lot different in his sound than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's why I like bowed down to that guy. He just was a complete different entity than everything else that we were hearing.
Yeah, he kinda came out of a vacuum too, like, he wasn't from one of the big centers, right? I think he was from fucking North Carolina or someplace, I don't
Yeah,
know.
some random area.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, definitely had his own sound, and, now I think he's kinda taking a check to ruin his legacy, and, like, taking that check, you gotta know that you're gonna get a lot of hate, so, like, I guess if that's the decision he wanted to make at this point in his career,
Yeah, it's a legacy burnt is the way that I look at it at
yeah,
this point, which
yeah,
sucks.
100%, man. How about this, dude? I always consider, or always in the past have considered DJing and production to be the same element, right? Like when we count the elements of hip hop, I lump those two together. But then I kind of thought, like, well, they're not really the same thing, though. Like, can you DJ? Do you DJ? I was listening to Together in Pieces 4 and like what was it? Rap Shit has some cuts on there. Was that you on the cuts or like
That was the guy D-Rec.
oh okay.
Yeah, D-Rec got a hold of that one and put his personal touches on that. Um,
Have you ever
it's
dabbled in
funny.
DJing like that?
Never,
Okay.
never. That was never my thing was DJing, but it's funny as a walking beat maker slash producer. That is the funniest question I always get asked by people. Hey, I heard you're a DJ.
Right.
And it's like, no, I'm not a DJ. I I make my own stuff and I don't spin other things. So
Yeah, fair enough, man. How about this, dude? Do you think that a producer should work on carving out one specific sound or work on a variety of sounds?
So a lot of industry guys say niche down, find your sound, but I'm the jack of all trades, master of none. I think that's why a lot of artists come to me is I can make any genre.
Sure.
Like I never just focused on one. When I send my packs out every week, there's a little bit of everything. It's not just one thing. And that's me almost challenging the guys that I send beats to also because it could be a guy that merely just like raps over trap beats and all of a sudden he hears this boom bap beat and he's like, oh man, I want to try this.
Yeah.
So you definitely not expand your horizons and try everything.
That's interesting, man. Can we talk? Let's go specifically about kind of your work with Junk over the past. Your most recent Together in Pieces 4 their project from last year was really dope. And it sounds like you guys have developed a lot of chemistry together. Uh, and I talked to him about that project too. I just kind of wanted to hear from your side. What was the production of that album like? Like how collaborative was it, or was it more just kind of you sent him the beats and heard the results later?
So there was a particular pack that I put together for him. I had heard he was doing like reels off all these old, like freestyles or soul
Or
stuff. And
classic beats? Yeah.
our stuff was like our previous stuff. Like if you heard the My Table, the Gang Fires, all that stuff are together in pieces too. It was a lot of like modern sounding.
Yeah.
So I threw that over to him. I think it was like 15 or 20 beats that had that similar soul vibe, and he was stoked as soon as he heard it, and that was it. He's like, I'm picking these. I'm gonna go see Jamie, um, the engineer, and we're just gonna record these. And it was in the summer. That project didn't even hit till probably 8 9 months later. So
Damn.
that was crazy.
So you kind of mentioned that you like to challenge certain MCs. Last week when I was talking to Fresh Kills, he was talking about how he likes working with certain MCs because they have a relationship where he's allowed to challenge them. You know, if they're going to put an entire project together, he can say to a Mickey O'Brien, like, rock on this. I really like this beat. Fucking figure something out to do with it.
For sure.
Do you ever challenge the people you're working with kind of that directly? Like, you know,
I think it's just genre related, to be honest with you. I never have a plan when I go in and I start cooking up beats. It's always, there's no plan. So whatever comes out, comes out.
sure.
But like I said, if I send 10, they're all over the place. So there's no real direction. And as far as me, like, say, challenging these guys, it's them hearing basically my brain through beats. And you know what I mean? They could pick a country beat. Like I dabbled in some trap country beats, and all of a sudden everybody was all over those. And I'm kind of like, what?
Yeah, that's the
What
wave
the
right
hell is
now for sure.
happening?
That's where
Like,
the money is, man.
yeah,
Uh,
Shabuzi popped off, and everybody just wanted country beats.
yeah,
So very, very weird, but trends are trends.
yeah. I mean, that's a certain group of fans I think that are gravitating towards those.
For sure.
Um, I guess I did. Most producers, I kind of ask this one: do you care what rappers say over top of your beats, like topic wise? Are you the type of guy? You said you were a lyricist yourself, so I imagine you're checking the lyrics that people are saying and paying pretty close attention to them. I think a lot of producers don't have that lyrical element. I've known guys who, uh, I know as I'm recording with them, they're never going to say, "Do that take again." They don't have that strong of opinions about my lyrical output. And I think that's kind of widespread for a lot of different producers. Do you personally care?
I think with certain artists, like the big dogs in Canada, I won't. Like if I think I heard something on Summer's Ours from Quake. I
Okay,
think that joint that we did, and it was something in the hook, and I was like, "Hey man, maybe we can do this or something like that." And I don't like to step on toes,
sure, yeah.
so
Well, and everybody's
you
egos, like, that's a
yeah,
real
that's the
thing, right?
thing,
So you
right?
got to be careful
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
criticism, but
a
yeah,
hundred. Like I said, it depends on the relationship,
yeah.
and the friendship and how it goes. But I leave that to them. And as far as lyrics go, like I'm a big conscious rap guy. Like if you can tell me a story, if you can, like I made a post the other day. It was about artists having relatable bars are the ones that are going to stick with people. Like the jibber jabber that people want to, rhyme words, that you're going to hear that song 5 years later and take nothing from it.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you got meaning in your bars, that's going to stick with that listener for 10, 20 years. Who knows, right? So
I agree 100%. I've been ranting about it on my socials lately that there are a lot of MCs who talk a lot and say very little. And I don't think that, especially right now, is the time for that. I think, you know, tell us something in your lyrics. I agree with you. Put a little bit of weight in there.
and with the world the way it is right now, you have so much to write about that has meaning. So just go ahead, give it to us straight.
100%, man.
Yeah.
How about this? Do you put out like beat tapes that are intended to just be played as beat tapes? Um,
10 years ago, I dropped my first one, Illusionist, on iTunes and then never really did it again.
Okay.
I know some of my mentors have pushed me to cut the artist out and just start uploading to Spotify, just beat tapes,
Yeah.
just make money off of beat tapes. But there's always something missing for me. There's a voice missing off the beats. So
Yeah.
I get it for study or you just want to
It's
chill and listen to
exactly what
some
I was gonna say.
beats
People love
and
to
things
just
like
let
that.
beats run sometimes,
Yeah,
and
that's
yeah.
totally cool. I don't know. I just feel like there's an instrument which is the voice that's still missing from that. So
Yeah, 100%. Personally, like as an MC and a lyricist myself, I always find that it's tough for me to carry on conversations. Like if we had rap on in the background right now, I
yeah,
would have a much tougher time having a one-on-one conversation that makes any sense,
for sure.
because the lyrics kind of get me to drift away with them. So, I can understand why people like to listen to the beats. For a lot of different situations, it works really nicely just to have background beats on. And that's probably a good way for producers to make money. So sometimes I look at producers and go like, "Hey, but if you've got thousands of beats that haven't been used in a library, why not put them up?"
Which I do. I've got vaults and vaults full of beats, and I need to find a way. That's why I give out so many deals basically
Sure.
the past like couple of years because I just have thousands of beats, and I'm like, man, just go right to these. Somebody take these. So
Yeah.
do something with them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No point in leaving them in the vault forever, right?
No, exactly.
Another way that producers have been making money that I've heard about, that I feel like you might be in on is like the sync licensing thing, getting instrumentals behind, the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air show or something and making a bag off of that. Because like nothing you watch on Netflix has songs that you recognize anymore. It's all like background music that sounds like it must be sync licensed from kind of indie artists. Have you gotten into that scene at all?
I've done reading and studying on it because I told myself when I hit a certain age in life that I would stop producing for artists and just gun for movies, video games, and TV shows.
Yeah.
I'm just not ready for that yet. I think when I'm 50 or 60 years old and I'm making classics out of strings and trying to get into video games and movies, I think maybe that'll be my next step. But I'm just not ready for that yet. So
Sure. Um, when you say making classics out of strings, you mean like you're gonna be playing strings? What instruments do you play? Are you
100%. Guitar and piano is the bass.
okay?
But I just think, you get into retirement age or whatever, and you know what I mean, your hobbies, and
More
I
time.
think that's something I'm gonna definitely be deep into when I'm older for sure.
Nice, man. I personally, my theory I wanted to ask you about if you were into the sync licensing is that I think you really need to dumb down to get those sync licenses. Like anytime I hear something, on Love Island or whatever, it's like some fucking just like the most basic, like, oh baby, you drive me crazy, girl, you rock my world kind of
Yeah.
lyrics output.
It's a bunch of Suno stuff, man.
Yeah, right. It is. It's very close to a bunch of
Yeah.
Suno stuff. I'm sure
Yeah.
soon it will be a bunch of Suno stuff
Oh
because
yeah.
that'll be cheaper for them. But
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Um, well, shit, man. How about a lot of MCs I've been asking, when's the last time you wrote a bad verse? When's the last time you made a bad beat?
Oh, I make plenty every week.
Okay.
The beat packs that I send out are I guess the best out of the batch every week.
Okay.
So I've got project files, terabytes of project files that I save them, but they're never used. So I
Sure.
was always told to save them, even if they're shit and they sound like garbage. Just save them. You could go back 5 years later, and maybe there's an idea there that sparks creativity. And yeah, that's another cheat code for producers: is go back to your project files 2, 3 years ago, and who knows, maybe the trend has changed, and you got a banger on your hands.
Yeah. Or maybe you hear something differently than you did then or whatever.
Exactly,
Yeah, for real.
100%.
So it looks like you're sitting in your studio right now. Is that a home studio or are you
This is my alien ship and where I hang out on weekends and late at night. So
right on, man?
yeah.
Is it tough balancing kind of, work and family life with that much production?
Uh I'm a late night guy. I'm a bit of a night owl, so My Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, because I have an outside career, that is me up till 3, 4 in the morning, knocking stuff out that I need to do. I always set a quota for myself every week to get out, and it's just been nonstop. I'll create up ideas throughout the week when I got little pockets of time, hour here, 30 minutes here, and then I'll go revisit all of that stuff throughout the week on the weekend.
Sure. Um, how about what are you listening to, man? Do you listen to like you mentioned, you work with almost exclusively Canadian artists. Do you listen to a lot of Canadian hip hop?
Tons.
Yeah,
Yeah, I listen to pretty much everybody that I've produced for. I'm always listening to what they got going on, like Junk's new project, Snack's new project he just dropped. Um, I listen to a lot of EDM music and a lot of other stuff just to get my mind and my creativity going.
sure,
Like I'm not just hip hop. I'll listen to the Doors, or you know what I mean? Like I'm all over the map because
sure.
I could just draw from all of that stuff eventually, and who knows, maybe ideas pop up. Listen to classic rock. So
When producers dig these days, is it all still on vinyl? Like, are you going out and buying old vinyl to look for samples, or do you go to
I mean,
YouTube for
some
old
of it.
tracks or whatever? Like,
I got about 200 vinyls just from collecting over the years. But a lot of the times I will just isolate it, go to YouTube, get the file, and then just chop it up, just to make things seamless. Because it's all about time management with me, man.
yeah.
I need that time management. So any little time I have, I got to use it wisely. So
Makes sense, man. I noticed you're wearing your household shirt there. I actually just got mine in the mail there the other day.
nice,
Uh,
nice.
a a word to anybody who's ordering these off of the new household apparel site, though. Um, this is a large. I'm 200 pounds and 6'2", and Junk recommended a large. This large is made for like a bouncer large. Like I could probably fit two of me inside of
Yeah,
this. Just a word of advice to people:
yeah,
maybe order a size smaller. But
for sure.
the sleeves and everything are good. But I did want to ask though, bro, are you like household official? Are you part of that label, or just
I'm
rocking the
just
shirt in
I'm
support?
that guy. Like I said, I was rap game Oz for years. I'm just one of those secret weapons in their corner, basically. There's nothing official. I've just worked with all of them, and it's just a good relationship.
Yeah, nice, man. You're based in Vancouver, right? I kept.
Yeah, I live in Abbotsford,
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah,
not really Vancouver, but kind of Vancouver.
close enough to be considered
Yeah,
Vancouver to most of Canada, anyways.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
sure. Um, all right, man. So I always like to do a section of this show called "How Important Is," and I just kind of rapid fire some questions as conversation starter, basically. But feel free to be long winded or answer them real short, however you want to do it. And it's kind of from your own personal standpoint, or if you want to give advice to people based on these questions, whatever works. Um, how important is the gear you're making beats with?
Not important at all. It's all up here, man. It's your ears. You got to work with your ears. Like I know a lot of people go off, you need to learn music and you need to learn chord progressions and all
Sure.
that. I don't need any of that. You use your ears. You could use a laptop and headphones. Click in your notes if you're a rookie and don't have access to MIDIs. Um, Flip samples. It can be very simplified. There's platinum producers that work off a Mac and AirPods.
Sure.
So anything is possible in this day and age.
How many kind of different iterations of gear have you went through in your career? Like, has it been something where you've stuck to one way of doing it for 10 or 15 years and then changed over, or is it like every time a new thing's out, you're trying it?
Uh, I think headphones is something that I've definitely gone through. The DAW, though, the what I work with FL Studio, it has
Okay.
not changed for years and years and years. I have not touched Pro Tools or Ableton or any of the other funky programs. Basically, trained myself on that. But as far as gear, I've tried like MPCs and things like that. It's fun. It's just not my workflow.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
Um, how important would you say being classically trained, like musically, is? as far as, you said you can play a few different instruments, so obviously you can read music and stuff like that, but would you say that's important for a producer?
Not at all. Like I said, it's all about your ears. It's all what you're hearing.
Yeah,
It's the output. You could not play instruments and win a platinum plaque. Like it really doesn't matter in this day and age. You just have to have
yeah,
the ear for a hit, right? Or the ear for space for the artist, or things like that. So
right on, man. How about, how important is working, like, in person with an artist on a track? Do you often get in for studio sessions, like, as lyrics are being recorded?
no, again, I'm the guy behind the curtain, and I talk to them and get ideas, and then I cook up and I send them what we talked about, basically.
Nice. And
Like
then
I,
send it off to
yeah.
somebody else for the mix and master, or is it coming back
You
to you after?
usually I'll put that in the artist's hands for the engineer and stuff like that. But there's three main engineers that I've worked with for the past 10 years, and it's NATO, Jamie Hughes, and then there's a guy out of Sweden that Quake uses.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've been meaning to, get NATO on the show for a while. I've met
Yeah,
him.
he's a
I
legend,
got
Canadian
roots up in
legend.
Edmonton. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I had a chance. I think, mixed and mastered. No, maybe he just mastered an album I put out way back in the day. But yeah, very, very brief run in with NATO as that happened. But I mean to get him on the show definitely. So if
For
you get a
sure.
chance, put in a good word for me, bro.
100%.
Um, how about I don't know. Let's just do some more general. How important? How important is an album's cover art?
Uh, I guess for the artist sense, put some creative mind to it or have a message. Like a lot of Junk's albums, you see his album covers, and he always has some sort of message. Like I remember watching the interview, and his mom came up with the album title, like
Yeah,
just things like that. Like maybe have some meaning behind the cover,
yeah,
just
yeah,
for yourself, even, right? Because it's a body of work you're going to carry for the rest of your life. So
yeah.
the
Definitely.
audience generally doesn't need to know what it is, but it's again a piece of your art and a piece of your work. So
Yeah. I like that answer, man. Um, how about how important is getting grants? Do you I mean, as a producer, I feel like the ball is out of the court for a producer. It's mostly on the MC to get the grant and then pay the producers, isn't it?
I think over the years, that's what I've seen
Yeah.
is the artist goes for the grants, gets some sort of production budget, works with me, we work it out, and that's usually how it goes. As far as producers getting grants, I don't know what they would use that for.
I mean, you could
Um,
flip it and use the grant to pay a bunch of MCs, couldn't you? That could be a thing.
yeah, I don't really believe in paying for verses as a producer, but
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, no, it makes sense. It
Well,
makes
but then
sense.
you could put out like, I don't know, there are some other Canadians who have done it. DJ Deadly Nedley in Edmonton, Big Sprox out in Ontario, like guys like that have
Yeah,
put together kind of collaborative things where it's a bunch of their beats and all sorts of different MCs on it. I could see you putting something like that together sometime.
for
Um,
sure.
would you ever think of doing something like that, or not even crossed your mind?
I mean, I've been approached. A lot of people keep telling me to put my own album together based off the connections I have. Like I could reach out to certain guys and be like, "Give me a verse, give me a verse, give me a
Yeah.
verse," and then put a compilation together. What I did, I think it was 10 years ago, is I made a mixtape and put it on DatPiff.
Okay.
It was basically just a whole bunch of stuff that I produced, and I just dumped it on one mixtape because it was all just random. And music in the industry was so different 10, 12 years ago. No Spotify. It was, yeah, let's just throw mixtapes on Dat Piff and see who listens. So
Yeah. Um, how about let's see. How important Oh, this is a good one. How important is your physical location as an artist? I feel like you've, made a lot of ground by working with the people who are closely located to you. But then, there's also guys like Quake Matthews on the far coast.
100%. I think in this day and age, for producers, if you're young, if you're in your 20s, the big thing is moving to LA, Nashville, Atlanta, Chicago. Those are your four destinations.
Yeah.
If you really want to take it to the next level or maximize your dream and be seen, that's what you would do.
I'm going
But
to put a
for
disclaimer
the
on it real quick. I don't
yeah,
recommend any Canadians move to any of those places right
no thanks. Yeah,
now. Yeah, don't do
yeah,
that.
I'm good
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, you're right. That is definitely where the entertainment market gravitates towards. Um, how about this, dude? How important is getting features from big name artists? Like you kind of just mentioned that you don't believe in paying MCs to be on your beats necessarily, but like, what about the legends? Have you ever reached out to a legend to get them on a track?
Well, I mean, that 2 to 3 years when I was really grinding for major placements, the whole goal of that was to put that towards my resume to, I guess, market myself in a different way. Um, but it's really crazy the two side song that I did with Junk with Kasky. I think it was 2010, and Kasky was just sort of on his come up, and I reached out to his management, and they were trying to make me pay $500 to send Kasky beats,
Oh,
and I was like, "That's not happening
wait,
because
just to
that's
send him beats, eh?
just to send him beats." And it's
No.
really odd how full circle came around, and then all of a sudden he's on one of my beats. So it's I don't know, it just works really odd. I've reached out, I've DM'd thousands of legends. I just end up fluking out, and the artist that I'm working with is all of a sudden working with them. Like Be Real with the Quake song,
Yeah.
like that's so random and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like Freeway and just all these legends, D12, all the legends that basically
Did
it
Be
was all
Real do a
flukes.
remix for that track? Was there a did he do one with a verse on that? I feel like
Yeah,
yeah, right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Quake sent it to him, DM'd it, and it was kind of just Hail Mary.
right.
And he heard it, liked it, and then jumped on it. So it was crazy.
Damn. Yeah, I think I played that actually now that I think about it on After the Smoke is Clear, but, yeah, I play so much music, it's tough to keep track.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Um, how about, how important is having the right romantic partner for an artist?
I think that's huge. I think it comes with patience. And like I said, I find pockets of time to just escape away and cook up some ideas and things like that. But it's a team effort, is the way I look at it.
Yeah,
Because
makes sense.
we eventually all reap the benefits of my hard work. So that's the way. That is the understanding, I guess.
For real.
Yeah,
Um, let's do a couple more of these. How important is a producer drop? I know you have a well-known producer drop.
like you're talking a beat tag.
Well, yeah, the beat tag. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's my wife. It's funny because a lot of people will leave the tag on, and I'll go to my Alexa and I'll be like, play this song, and be like, hey, it's your voice. You're on Spotify, so
I got
yeah,
my wife to do a drop for After the Smoke is Clear
yeah,
too. She's the voice of it at Six.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you want to get involved? Be the beat tag. So
Yeah, for real.
yeah, for sure.
Um, how about well shit, what do I want to ask? Um, how about making beats that fit current trends? Do you like you kind of mentioned the country stuff? Do you often kind of hear what's popular in the mainstream and go like, "Well, I could probably do something like that."
Yeah. Anytime I'm driving, anytime I'm traveling, I'm always looking at what is the current sound. And what I'll do is I'll study it. I might hate the music,
Yeah.
but I'll study and I'll take things from it that maybe I'll incorporate into my next beats. But I also got to think about the younger generation coming up. Like, I'm not just going to box myself into the 30 plus. I'm always looking to see what's trending. And I mean, that's why I went on, I think it was 6 to 8 months, I was just making country trap over and over and over and over again. And man, people, I don't know what that was, but people love that stuff, and they scooped up probably 90% of what I had.
Damn.
So it's strategic, right? You gotta play the field a little bit on some of that stuff.
Sure.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people are stay true to yourself and stay true to, but you know what I mean? You gotta experiment. That's the way I look at it.
Well, and how do you really know, the extent of yourself if you're not really kind of testing out different directions and trying different things
Yeah,
musically, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I plan on releasing an EDM album this year. Like everybody knows me as just a hip hop producer, but I love EDM and bass house music, and I want to take a shot at it and throw it on Spotify just for fun. So,
Nice, man.
a little side quest.
You should get at Def 3. He's a West Coast dude. You maybe
Yeah,
know Def 3. He's been doing a lot with the kind of crossover of like boom bap lyricism over top
yeah,
of EDM stuff.
yeah. That's dope.
And working with a lot of different people. But what else do you have coming up, man? You mentioned that you have been working with a lot of different people, and it's all just a waiting game for release dates at this point.
Basically, that's what it is. So, I've got I just started working with an artist named Hodder out of Nova Scotia.
Okay, yeah, I
He,
recognize that name. Yeah.
yeah, he's got a bit of a country vibe to him. Quake, we're always going back and forth with ideas, so who knows what's going to come from that. I got about 25 joints in the bank with Robbie G. He took a liking to my sound and has just been, I want this, I want that. So he's just picking away at my catalog. Icarus is another one that I'm working pretty close with to try to pump out his next album. But yeah, the
He's a West Coast
possibilities
based
of,
dude, right? Icarus?
yeah, he's
Yeah.
West Coast. Yeah,
Okay.
that story with that was funny too, because Mercules dumped me and him into an Instagram chat, and they're like, "Yeah, just go cook up some heat, guys." And we're like, "Okay." And then yeah, his album came out, went number one on the hip hop charts on iTunes, and yeah, that was crazy.
Beautiful. Mission accepted, mission accomplished,
A
it
hundred
sounds like.
percent. Yeah,
Yeah.
feed me artists, and then we'll make something out of it. So
Nice, man. So, does that go for a wider invite to, MCs who might be watching this interview down the line and they
100%.
want to reach
Yeah.
out? Yeah.
Shoot me a DM and let me know what you're into. If you want to just hear what I have in the vault, like I sent the vault to you today.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because I got all the folders and it's all separated into styles. Like
Yeah, I only had a
yeah,
chance
I
to
don't
get
know.
through a couple of the boom bap ones,
Yeah,
and then I was just taken aback at how much you
yeah,
sent over, man. This was a
yeah.
ton. Yeah.
So yeah.
Looking forward to going through it though. Um, I guess I normally ask people for a tip. Let's ask for uh hmm. Let's just go real general with it, man. Let's just say what advice would you give to an 18-year-old who wants to get into making beats and try to work with other people. Trying to
Just
work
give
with
out
other
your
people.
beats for free and get artists on your beats. And networking is massive. Just create relationships. The first point of contact is probably your most important form of contact. You don't want to make it awkward, but you don't want to be a fanboy either, or they're just going to be like, "Who is this guy?"
Right.
So just keep it personal and keep it real, and just develop relationships, and it just goes from there.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. Uh Well, coming up on an hour here. I'll try to keep us under the hour mark this time. Actually, I always tell everybody these things are going to be an hour long, and then I keep them here for like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But we've gotten through the list of questions. So before I let anybody out of here, I like to ask: can you describe your local hip hop scene? So be as local as you want to be. I mean,
Yeah. Um, it's if I could put two words together, I would call it conscious modern.
okay,
So it's yeah, it goes back to that junk snack sort of sound where it's like they've got the old school boom bap, but they also have a bit of the modern
yeah,
twist to it. And I love it. I love that sound, and that's what BC is right now. Is kind of something like that. So
nice. I like that, and would agree. I think there's a lot of real intricate lyricism coming out of that West Coast right now, and
and we're super slept on out here.
yeah.
The
Well,
East Coast takes the cake. Everybody's big on the East, but they have no idea what kind of ammunition we have out here on the West Coast.
I I'll agree for Western Canada. I mean, like, there's some big names in Vancouver, though. Like some of the names that people around here would name to me if I asked who are Canadian rappers would definitely be like, guys like Junk and Snack and Mercules. They would be pretty high up there on a lot of people's lists, I think. But yeah, I think there's still a lot of talent out there bubbling in Vancouver too
For
as well.
sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Um, can you name people that you think don't get enough shine from your scene? Anybody that you think people should be paying more attention to?
Definitely guys like Hungry, Junk's partner in crime there.
Yep.
Bobby S out of Alberta. He's got that trappy modern sound that a lot of the I'm gonna say half of Canada doesn't really have. Um, yeah, there's a ton of artists. Yeah, Sazy out of the East Coast, like
Yeah, hell yeah.
there's so much talent. It's limitless. Even Tio Laza, like he's got that Lil Peep kind of vibe, and he's got a decent fan base. But yeah, I don't know, man. Possibilities are endless. There's so much talent here.
For real. Yeah. I mean, you've been shouting people out throughout the interview too. So definitely a decent list of shout outs throughout this interview. Um, any plans for, well, you said you don't really do shows or tours, but anything that people should look out for and be ready to support when they see it?
Just all the new. Anytime you see "Prod" by Starkore, just listen to it because it's gonna be a banger.
Run it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Where are you most active on social media? That's the last thing on the list, man.
It's Instagram all day.
Instagram. Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Personally, I just got TikTok off of my phone the other day, a couple days ago. And from what I was seeing people saying about TikTok today and how everybody is getting just censored down to nothing, I think I made the right choice on that one.
Well, the
So
brain rot continues over there. So
yeah, definitely. So
yeah,
I'm rocking with Instagram as well. Bro, I appreciate you spending time to do this. And,
for sure.
you know, it's an honor that this is one of the first interviews you've done, at least in the recent era, you know, that you came on to talk and pull the curtain back a little bit.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Hell yes. All right. We'll catch you next time, bro. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Coming up next week, I'm talking to Edmonton-based artist Just Jordan. The week after that, I talked to Toronto-based artist Zeppo. Week after that, February 17th, I'm talking to Asun Eastwood and Lord Juco. And February 24th, I talked to Michael Shabazz. All sorts of good talks coming up. I'm excited to connect with all of these artists. Keep tuning in Tuesday nights over on twitch.tv/Doobyis. Of course, you can always watch the archives for this whole podcast over on YouTube. I appreciate it when people do that. Run those numbers up for me. That's the best way to tell the algorithm to show it to more people and help me complete my mission of getting more ears on more music every week. Speaking of that mission, after the smoke is clear is the mix show. Every Thursday, you can find me as well on Twitch, putting together a new mix, and then you can listen to that mix in full Thursday night, mixcloud.com/Doobyis. Mixcloud is it's a platform that nobody's ever heard of. I know, but I promise you, it's just an easy, free app to download. It's owned by 6 British guys. It's not owned by the big nefarious billionaires to the south. And it's better than SoundCloud for DJs to put mixes on, because every song in a mix on Mixcloud is actually credited to the individual artist and paid out whatever it is for a stream to that individual artist, which realistically doesn't add up to much because streaming doesn't pay anybody's bills. I encourage people to buy music like I do, but at least if you're listening to @sick on Mixcloud, you can rest easy knowing that I bought those digital singles, which is the equivalent of something around 300 streams for a 99-cent digital single. So yeah, definitely support the artists you enjoy, support the artists you enjoy, and support the shows that support those artists. That's what I'm trying to say. Appreciate y'all for coming through, and I will catch you on the next one.